Welcome to the deep dive. You know, there's this quiet voice a lot of us hear sometimes, right?
hmm
That little whisper saying, you could be doing more. You could be stronger, maybe smarter, definitely more disciplined.
Yeah, it's that nagging feeling. It's like the sound of your own potential, but it often gets lost in all the noise or maybe just lost in our own desire to take it easy. For a lot of
Yeah.
people, it just ends up feeling like guilt.
Right, just this vague background hum of should be doing better. But the material we're digging into today, it's from the blueprint for becoming unstoppable, and it completely throws out that idea of just waiting for motivation to show up.
It really does.
Our mission here is to unpack its core idea,
Mm.
that improving yourself isn't gentle. It's actually more like a strategic war you wage against yourself. We need to look at the architecture of how that works. What does it really mean to force yourself to get better? Not for applause, but because the blueprint says you owe it to yourself.
That framing war is so key. It sets the stage immediately. The battleground is internal. It's you versus you. Or, more accurately, you versus that part of you that's, comfortable, clever, and really good at keeping things exactly as they are.
The part that knows all your tricks.
Exactly. It knows how to sabotage you. So we're here to look at the strategy you need to actually command your own mind, to be the general in that war, not just a soldier getting pushed around by old habits.
Okay, let's get into that architecture then. Starting with something most people honestly kind of hate, discipline. The word itself just sounds cold, strict, boring.
It has bad PR.
Totally.
Yeah.
But this blueprint flips that completely. It makes this really counterintuitive claim. Discipline is freedom. How does that work?
Well, the idea is that without some kind of structure, your goals, your dreams, they're basically trapped. Think about people who achieve really big things, whether it's an athlete getting up at 4 a.m. or a writer hitting a word count even when they feel totally blank.
They're not waiting for inspiration.
No, absolutely not. They're relying on a structure they decided on beforehand. They don't wait to feel like it. They just do it because it's on the schedule. That structure is the freedom because it frees them from the whims of motivation.
Okay, so that distinction is crucial then. Motivation versus discipline. We often wait for that lightning bolt of motivation, but you're saying that's unreliable.
Precisely. Motivation is just an emotion. Like any emotion, it comes and goes. It's fickle. Discipline, though, that's a decision. It's a commitment. It shows up whether you feel great about it or, frankly, dreading it. And think about the choice you make every single day, maybe every hour. The blueprint says you either feed your comfort, hit snooze, scroll online, put off the hard task, or you feed your growth. But you can't really feed both at the same time.
One pushes out the other.
Yeah. If you want that stronger body, for example, it demands consistency. Showing up every day, even for a short workout, not just one massive session when you happen to feel motivated.
I like how the source reframes discipline, too. It's not punishment. It's about keeping promises to yourself.
Exactly.
When you say, okay, I'm going to tackle that difficult report at 8 a.m., and then you actually sit down and do it, even if you really don't want to. You're building something, right? Internal trust.
And that trust, according to this blueprint, is power. It builds up every time you keep your word to yourself. You strengthen this sort of mental contract. You become reliable.
To yourself.
To yourself, which is the most important person to be reliable to ultimately. That internal validation, that's what starts to make you feel solid, what the source calls unstoppable. Not because nothing can hurt you, but because you trust yourself to keep going.
That internal trust feels like the linchpin. Because it leads right into the next big piece of this architecture, the war inside you. The blueprint really paints this picture of a constant inner conflict, a battle against your, quote, weaker self. That's the voice, right? The one that says, just rest a little longer. Hey, you've done enough for today. Or maybe the classic, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, using tomorrow as this perfect little lie to feel safe right now.
Exactly.
And that voice is so persuasive, so persistent because, let's connect it to the bigger picture. We're fighting biology here. Millennia of evolution. Your brain wasn't really designed to make you chase massive success or constant growth.
It was designed for what? Safety.
Safety and familiarity, primarily. Keep you safe, conserve energy, stick with what's known. Progress, growth, doing hard things that's inherently risky and unpredictable from the brain's perspective.
Yeah.
So it naturally throws up resistance. It wants to pull you back to baseline.
Okay, but hang on. Isn't some safety good?
Hmm.
Like, don't we need to listen when our body says it's genuinely tired or burned out? How does the blueprint draw the line between, necessary self-care and just fear-based avoidance?
That's a really important distinction, and the source isn't saying ignore all signals or be reckless. It's specifically targeting the resistance that pops up when you face novelty or growth-oriented discomfort. So, if the thing you're resisting is, say, a tough workout that you know you need, or focusing on learning a complex new skill, or having that necessary but awkward conversation, that resistance, that's likely just the brain trying to maintain the status quo, the familiar low-energy state.
So the feeling itself isn't the problem.
No, in fact, the blueprint argues that feeling that dread, that internal, ugh, I don't wanna, is actually proof you're moving in the right direction. It's a signal that you're pushing boundaries. The stronger the resistance, often the more significant the potential growth on the other side.
Wow, okay. That completely flips the script. So fear and resistance aren't stop signs. They're more like landmarks showing you're near the edge of your current map.
Exactly. Proximity indicators for growth. Which brings us to that vital separation the source emphasizes, the gap between your feelings and your commands. Meaning your emotions are just data points. They're information. They aren't your identity, and they aren't your marching orders. Feeling lazy doesn't mean you are lazy. Feeling scared doesn't mean you must retreat. The blueprint defines courage very specifically. It's not lack of fear. It's action in spite of fear. Every single time you feel that hesitation, that resistance, and you push through it anyway, even by a tiny bit, you're essentially retraining your brain.
You're teaching it a new reality.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're demonstrating, see, we did the scary thing and we survived. In fact, we might even be stronger now. You're proving to your own internal system that you're more capable than its old programming believes.
Okay. So what usually stops people then? What stops them from taking that action in spite of the fear? The blueprint has a name for it, doesn't it? The sweetest trap ever built.
That's the one, the comfort zone.
It sounds so nice.
It does. That's why it's a trap. It feels warm, safe, predictable, peaceful. But the paradox, the real danger, is that inside that zone of perceived safety, potential just quietly suffocates. It dies. Because the comfort zone is always whispering these seductive little messages. You've done enough. You deserve a break. This is good enough. Long before you've actually done the deep work or pushed your limits. But real growth, the kind that leads to strength, confidence, actual achievement, it's fundamentally uncomfortable.
So everything worthwhile is outside that zone?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
All the good stuff, resilience, skill mastery, genuine success, it lives just beyond that barrier of discomfort.
The blueprint uses this image of quicksand, which is pretty stark. The longer you stay in the comfort zone, the harder it is to get out. You risk, and I think this is a direct quote, living the same year 10 times with different excuses.
Oof. Yeah. That hits hard because we can probably all recognize that pattern, maybe in others, maybe even in ourselves at times.
Absolutely. We need to pause on that. What's the real cost of staying stuck there?
The cost is huge, and it compounds over time. It's the accumulation of regret. It's looking back and realizing what could have been. Every time you choose short-term ease, staying comfortable over a long-term challenge, you're making a trade. You trade momentary relief for eventual stagnation. The blueprint basically argues the main difference between someone who aspires and someone who achieves is simply the habitual choice of discomfort over comfort.
Okay, so if growth requires choosing discomfort, and we have to act despite fear, that brings up this readiness issue. The blueprint says you will never feel ready.
Right. That's a tough pill to swallow for perfectionists or planners.
Definitely. So if you never feel ready, how do you even start? How do you pick the right challenge or commitment level without just overwhelming yourself and burning out immediately? Because that's a real risk too.
It is. And the blueprint's answer is pretty direct. Readiness isn't something you wait for. It's something you create through action. It's born after you begin, not before. You choose the commitment level based on your discipline, your decision, not on how ready or inspired you feel. If you want a different life, the source argues, you have to start doing the things your current self actively avoids.
Like what? Give me an example.
Like maybe it's studying for an hour after a long workday when all you want is the couch. Or maybe it's finally initiating that difficult conversation you've been putting off. Or just doing 10 push-ups when you feel like 0.
Start small, but start.
Exactly. Start small, be consistent, but start now. Because waiting for the perfect moment or the right feeling is just procrastination wearing a fancy disguise.
Okay, this is making sense conceptually, but what does it look like day to day? Let's shift from the mindset to the practical how-to. The source says success isn't some big mystery, right? It's a pattern.
Yes, a pattern of small choices, repeated daily.
So let's unpack those. The blueprint lays out 5 specific daily rituals or habits that are supposedly essential for building this kind of unstoppable life.
Right, this is where the theory gets really grounded. These 5 habits are like the operational systems that turn that potential we talked about into actual power.
Okay, number 1, the morning mindset. The source really warns against waking up and immediately reacting.
Yeah, grabbing the phone, scrolling feeds, checking email, basically letting the outside world dictate your mental state from minute 1.
What's the alternative?
Wake up with intention. Before you even touch your phone or engage with the outside world, take a few moments. Define your purpose for the day. The blueprint suggests something simple, like identifying maybe 3 small non-negotiable wins. What are 3 things you will accomplish today, no matter what?
So you start proactive, not reactive. Like a warrior, not a worrier, as they say.
Exactly. You set the terms for the day before the day sets them for you.
Okay. Ritual 2.
Focused action, sometimes called the 3-hour rule, though the duration can vary. The core idea is dedicating the first chunk of your productive time, maybe the first 90 minutes, maybe 3 hours, to deep, focused work on your most important task, your needle mover.
And crucially, protecting that time.
Absolutely critical. The source is really emphatic about this. Guard this time fiercely. No email, no meetings if you can help it, no social media, no distractions. Turn off notifications. This isn't just about getting work done, it's about protecting your cognitive energy for what truly matters. You're essentially shielding your future self from the urgency and chaos of the present moment.
Makes sense. Number 3.
Reflection, or the night review. This closes the loop. Growth requires learning, and learning requires reflection. Just experiencing something isn't enough.
So what does that look like?
Before bed, take maybe 5 or 10 minutes to consciously turn your day's experiences into wisdom. The blueprint recommends asking 3 specific questions. 1, what did I do well today? Acknowledge your wins.
Okay.
2, what did I learn today? Especially look at mistakes or challenges. What was the lesson? And 3, what can I improve tomorrow? This sets you up for the next day with concrete adjustments.
I like that. Simple but powerful. What's number 4?
This one is maybe the most fundamental principle behind long-term success, the 1% rule.
Ah, the power of tiny gains.
Exactly. Improvement doesn't have to be this huge, dramatic leap every day. In fact, that's usually unsustainable. The real magic is in getting just 1% better consistently.
And that compounds, right?
Massively. It's easy to dismiss 1%, but do the math.
Sure.
1% daily improvement doesn't just add up, it compounds exponentially. Over a year, that's something like 37 times better. It's the difference between, say, going to the gym for a heroic workout once a month versus doing just 15-20 minutes every single day.
Consistency beats intensity.
Every single time, in the long run. That's the core message.
Okay, and the final ritual, number 5.
Protect your energy. This is about consciously managing your inputs because they determine your outputs. Guard your mind, your body, your environment.
How so? What does that mean practically?
It means being mindful of what you consume, news, social media, conversations, avoiding unnecessary negativity or chaos. It means taking care of your physical energy, sleep, nutrition, movement. It means curating your environment to support your goals, not sabotage them. The blueprint uses this great framing. Every single action you take.
Even small ones.
Yes, even deciding to drink water instead of soda, or choosing to walk away from a draining argument. Every action is a vote for the type of person you are becoming. You build that unstoppable life by casting more and more votes in the right direction, day after day.
That's a powerful way to think about it. Every choice counts. Okay, so these rituals, this consistency, it prepares you. But life still throws curveballs. Setbacks happen. Failure happens. How does the blueprint handle pain and failure? That seemed like a big piece of becoming resilient.
It's absolutely central. And the source offers a really powerful reframe here, moving away from our natural tendency to just avoid pain.
Which is strong.
Very strong. But the blueprint argues pain isn't the enemy. Pain is actually your greatest teacher. It's instruction, not punishment.
Instruction. Okay, explain that.
Think about it. When do you learn the most valuable lessons? Usually when things go wrong, when it hurts, when you fail. Comfort teaches very little. Every scar, every rejection, every time you fall flat on your face. The blueprint says that experience built something inside you that easy times never could. Strength, perspective, humility.
So it's about mining the experience for the lesson.
Exactly. And that leads directly into redefining failure itself. We tend to see failure as the absolute opposite of success, the end of the road.
Right. Game over.
But the blueprint says no. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It refines you for success. It's part of the process. The real problem isn't failing. It's mistaking a temporary setback for a permanent verdict. Strong people, unstoppable people, they don't avoid failure. They don't stop when they fall. They get back up.
Faster each time, maybe.
Hopefully faster and definitely smarter, tougher. Because they took the time to extract the instruction from the pain, like we just discussed.
The source uses that diamond analogy, right? A diamond is just coal that handled pressure well.
That's the one. It beautifully captures the idea that resilience, strength, brilliance, they aren't innate qualities for most. They are earned, forged through repetition, patience, and persistence, specifically under pressure.
Okay, but does that mean we should actively seek out failure or put ourselves under unnecessary pressure? How do you find that balance between productive stress, the kind that forges diamonds, and just counterproductive burnout or self-sabotage?
Another great question. The blueprint isn't suggesting you go looking for trouble or intentionally court failure. Life, ambition, just the act of trying to grow that will provide plenty of pressure all on its own. You don't need to add more artificially.
So the focus isn't on seeking pressure.
No, the focus is on handling the pressure when it inevitably arrives. It's about building your mental and emotional armor through controlled exposure to stress, like pushing through that difficult project when you really want to quit, or sticking to your workout routine even when you're tired. That's controlled. Recklessly overloading yourself until you break, that's not the goal. It's about channeling the energy that pain and pressure create.
Channeling the energy.
Pain, frustration, disappointment. These are powerful emotional energies you get to decide. Does this energy destroy me, make me quit, make me bitter, or does it drive me? Can I channel it into focus, into purpose? The source suggests that when you learn to do that, you become incredibly focused, almost dangerous in your commitment.
Dangerous to your own limitations.
Exactly. The mindset becomes, okay, I fell. That hurt. What did I learn? How can I use this? I will rise again and I'll be faster and smarter next time.
That feels like the core of resilience.
Absolutely. And it ties back to consistency. The person who just keeps showing up day after day, especially on the days they don't feel like it, they're already winning that internal war we talked about, they become unstoppable, not because they never fail, but because they've drastically reduced the variability in their performance. They show up anyway.
So wrapping this up, the main message isn't really about chasing some mythical state of perfection.
Not at all.
It's about chasing consistency. It's about managing that inevitable internal resistance and just keeping your promises to yourself.
Precisely. And if we loop all the way back to the biggest fear that holds most people back, the fear of failure, the ultimate conclusion from this blueprint is actually quite profound and maybe simple.
What's that?
When you get to the point where failure genuinely doesn't scare you anymore, not because you won't fail, but because you trust yourself to handle it, to learn from it, to get back up, then truly nothing can stop you.
Because the fear itself was the real cage.
The fear is the cage. It's the primary governor on human potential, according to this framework. Remove the fear of falling, and you're free to soar.
So every setback, every uncomfortable moment you push through, every time you choose the growth option over the comfort option, you're answering something, aren't you?
You are. You're answering the fundamental challenge that life, or maybe just your own potential, throws at you. It's a question that echoes in those moments of struggle, demanding a real lived answer just from you. And that question is, how badly do you want this?
And the blueprint ultimately is about showing you how to prove that answer. Not with words, but with daily actions.
Exactly. Day by day, promise by promise, action by action, that's the path.